Hi there, this is Jehunatan, and just watched Aharon's video, one he sent. He's really confronting some things, and he's been through some really serious trials lately, and we are at a really pivotal moment, and this is what this part of the series, this volume, this portion is all about. Confronting the fear. And honestly, I think Aharon, when he spoke about fear, it's the fears of that, not that we ourselves, the lies we have inherited, and the lies we've given to ourselves. Honestly, it's as said in the beginning, we lie to ourselves. We try to think, everyone else has the problem, and before we look to those people who have the problems, we need to have some introspection and start looking at our own lives and taking care of those things. And sometimes that takes time. It took, for example, 2-3 years for Aharon's. It took 10 years. It takes time. But once you get to that point, that is when we can grow and go forward. Some people will say, we can't judge or whatever. As we said before in a previous video, look, you should not be judging if you don't hold yourself to the same standards that are written, okay? When we know what's right and what's wrong, and we don't hold ourselves accountable to those things, that is what hypocrisy is about. It's time to clean that stuff up. And for those people who are called, whoever those people are, chosen to do and to be, the Jedi, to be the judge, to be that person who knows the Father and will take on the mantle, right? The spiritual mantle, and give shelter to those who need it. It takes a mature tree that has leaves, that has fruit, that has covering for that to take place. And it takes people who have cleaned themselves up and have allowed these judgments to impart us and to help us learn what we're doing wrong. And that way we can show others the direction they need to go. Because when you have seen those ditches for yourselves, you know what's out there, and you know the directions people have taken when you tell them the truth and they listen to those that listen, it takes a person that has been humble, that has a life of servitude, that is being there to cover someone, to be in the gap, to partake and that shield to defend whoever that, the neighbor, being that Samaritan, right? That will come out there and give them shelter when they need it the most. It's honestly interesting how people expect some future time to where this is when I'll fulfill my role. Look, sometimes the cue time comes when it comes. And it's great to, we need to prepare and such, but there's a time where it's not preparation but action. And when that moment comes, it's time to act and to do what you're being called to do. And that's what Aharon is beginning to understand, the time. And that when you start treading forward, and when you start confronting these spirits, when you start confronting these evil forces, you will see the mistruths and the lies they have given you. And you will see they're not really as strong as you think they are. It is simply what weight we have given them in our lives. Okay? This is something Aharon is starting to see. And he's starting to see that these spiritual forces are simply ways or methods that the Father has allowed us to partake in our lives, to see how we're going to respond to them, and seeing, are we going to bow down to these things that when we have a hard time and just give up, or are we going to stand for what's right and what's true because we trust in the Father and He will take us where we need to go? The thing about Jedi is, when you start to realize what the word is to know, you start to see this person believes that it's true, that the word is true, and it's when you start living the word. It's not simply a title, but an action word. It's knowing. It's being part of the Father and listening and giving that out. Okay, and that's something that's very real, very real. To know the Father, relationship, that's what Jedihood is about. When you read in the scriptures about Solomon and Jedidiah, when you learn about someone who fulfills their destiny and does it in the face of adversity, you know the action is real. And when the word is backed up by action, then you know it is what it is. And the thing is, people will again say, the Jedi are not real or whatever, or they have to believe the Force or something. Look, when you realize what it means to know and simply enact that knowing and helping people, being the servant and being humble and helping those in need, those neighbors out there, not necessarily the neighbors in your neighborhood, but those who are called, and those when they stumble, you're there to help them. Those are your brothers and sisters in need. That's who you need to help. You see, when this person looks at the Jedi community, it came to a point a long time ago, realized they were stuck in a title. They were stuck in this vain imagination that they gave themselves, this vain thing, this idea that I can be powerful by living the way I want to live and simply tap into something and use them however I wish. Well, these spiritual forces are more than ample ready to give you these powers, but there's a catch. And when you realize that catch, you start to see these things are nothing more than vices that will take you down. Okay? This is what this series is. It is about knowing, it's about trust and relationship. Aharon, thank you for staying with us. Thank you for staying with me on the path. Because you are meant to go with us. You are meant to go further than you are now. And when you see fear, okay, when you see the lies and the phobias that are near you, and you see these spiritual forces we've been talking about come press upon your life, call to the Father and ask for the covering, and pray for those who have the covering to protect you. Those are the people who will come during your time in need and be the true blessing. You see, this person believes this person is enacting the Jedi, the true spirit of Jedihood, right? Jedi spirit, the site he was part of, right? This is the true spirit. Believe this person is acting Jedi more than any of those people on those sites, because this person has grown beyond the doctrines of men and have realized that the Father is true, and to know the Father, that is what a Jedi is, to know and to be beloved by Him. That's where it comes from. And some people will make it where, look, you can choose to know good and evil. You can choose to attempt to be your own God if you wish, but you will see it will all lead to death and destruction and torment. And this is what Aharon has seen. He has seen the torment. He has seen death. He has seen the anger and the frustration. He has seen the frustration, okay, of not connecting with people who should know better. It's people like us, we two travelers, hopefully more later, who need to give out this message and to obey and simply do and not worry about the consequences, but to do because the Father has our backs. We have the covering, and that is the spiritual robe that we manifest this series, on this website. Please, if you made it this far, realize that is what it is. It's about looking to yourself, seeing those lies, conquering that fear, and going beyond the fear. That is what going beyond the fear is all about. Keep going, stay faithful, and know that your path is just beginning.